Hey everyone, Nicole Takei here with
Ann Campea.
and
Ryan Myers.
And today we are going to talk about The Last Jedi. Okay, so if you haven't seen The Last Jedi...
Turn it off, now!
Turn it off! But I feel like everyone has seen The Last Jedi, because that's all I've been hearing about.
Walker, have you seen Last Jedi?
Because it made mad money.
Mad money. So if you haven't seen it, there's going to have tons of spoilers. So depending on whether you want to be spoiled or not, press pause or keep going. So without further ado, overall thoughts, guys, before we hit the positives and the negatives.
No, me first. Okay.
All right.
I really liked it. I enjoyed it a lot. When I came out of the movie, I pretty much thought it was probably one of my favorite. Probably that and Empire Strikes Back are my favorite Star Wars movies.
Wow. That's
Just it had so many moments that caught me off guard. Had funny moments, not overly funny like everyone on the internet is saying.
Mm-hmm.
And the action was great. There's a couple minor gripes I have we can talk about as we go, but overall I thought it was really good, and I'm interested to see what happens in the next one because they left it off at a pretty cool spot.
Yep.
So.
And?
I completely agree with Ryan. I think it ranks all the way up there as well. I think aside from Empire, this is such a good movie. It's definitely better than Force Awakens.
Yeah.
And it's the first Star Wars movie to take risks that are so outside of the Star Wars template. And I applaud those risks because I think they pay off really well. So we'll talk more in detail, but overall I think this movie was fantastic.
Well, the problem with me talking about no spoilers is I watched a big chunk of the beginning and a big chunk of the end and left off, fell asleep in the big chunk of the middle. And not because I disliked it, but I just fell asleep because I was so close to the screen and it was hard to watch, as well as it was 11 o'clock at night when it started.
Rough.
And
I don't blame you.
And it's a long movie too.
It's
2.5 hours.
Yeah, long movie. But I will tell you what I thought about what I saw, and these guys will definitely fill in the blanks. So let's talk about some of our positives. It sounds like you guys have plenty to go with. I can start. I really like that they utilized Luke. I was going to say Luke Luke Skywalker a lot. You know, they made him like very important because he's very important.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, this was definitely Luke's movie. This was just through and through all the nods that they have to some of the old, memories we have of Luke, from drinking now the green milk, to, finally seeing Luke kind of disappear into the Force. As his final, goodbye, as he stared up into the two suns was really, really beautiful. Seeing the moment with him and Yoda. And them kind of sitting there watching the Jedi tree, I guess you would call it, burn down. That was really beautiful. So yeah, I completely agree. Like, Luke's moments were all fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Luke's movie, and I agree with that. And everything he was. I wish he would have had like a battle scene or something, but it makes sense.
He kind of did.
Yeah, I mean, but it was like, it makes sense because he's an older guy and like a Jedi and all that stuff, and he hasn't fought or done anything in years. He's been on that island. So it makes sense. But yeah, his story, ended with him redeeming himself and leaving a legend for the new rebels and Jedis to follow. End of the movie, the kids are telling the story how Luke Skywalker stopped, Kylo Ren and all that stuff. So I think that was really cool.
I also like how they really have made Kylo Ren the ultimate complex character of Star Wars.
Yeah.
Just
so emo.
You never can tell whether he's really good or really bad. Like, most of the time you're like, he's got some light in him. Like, you really don't know, at least for me.
Not anymore.
He's extremely conflicted.
To me now, he's dark. He's done.
I don't know. I still think he's got a glimmer.
I don't think so.
I think this movie solidified that he's now on the dark side.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Like, the whole battle with Rey, you get the feeling like, oh, he's saving her, they're going to team up. But then he teamed up because he wanted to kill Snoke, and he wanted to keep Rey for himself so they could take over the galaxy. It was a selfish ploy. It wasn't just him, oh, she's cool, I'll help her, and we'll do what's right. But
don't forget, he couldn't kill his mom.
Yeah.
But that was, again, before that battle happened.
Right,
so it was kind of a culmination of him finally taking those steps into the dark side.
Yeah, and then it was good that they revealed what happened between Luke and him as well. I thought that was really, really good. What other positive things other than the action and
I would say for me, I thought it was the perfect balance of old and new. I thought, again, they did really well with Luke's story, but then at the same time, they elevated Rey and really took her through that journey as well. And then I didn't really like Kylo in Force Awakens. He was just really annoying, and I didn't understand the character.
Really?
But in this movie, they really, really like showed the depth of his character to your point, and I think him and Rey played well together. I think at the same time that we're conflicted whether or not Kylo is going dark.
I mean, I think he's going to be dark.
Right.
Yeah.
And then Rey, for me, also, I was conflicted whether or not she was going to go to the dark side or the light side. So I think at the end of the movie, clearly she is on the light side, he is on the dark side. Episode 9 is going to be all about them two.
And and she is like the last Jedi now.
For sure.
For sure. So, any more positives before we hit some of the things that didn't really tickle our fancy?
Well, I would like to add on to the Yoda part. I thought that was my favorite part.
Yes.
And also it's not like maybe it's just me, but I was super happy that they used the puppet Yoda instead of the CG Yoda.
Yeah.
So it's the same Yoda
That's
same Yoda that was in the scenes with Luke in Empire and then returned before he died in the story, whatever.
Yeah.
That was cool. Obviously the throne room battle.
Oh God.
With
That
Snoke.
was
was really cool.
That
I
was
think
really
everyone
good.
in the theater was like, "Oh man, what's gonna happen?"
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well choreographed.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That was really, really good.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's hit some things that didn't quite work for us. I'm gonna start. Not feeling this whole like weird casino scene thing.
Yeah. Can't survive.
Like she's a great character, but then like why do they have to make it all weird?
I think that the character itself carried a lot in her, right? She kind of was the embodiment of hope and whatever hope was left. But the fact that they couldn't figure out how her and Finn should interact, and that, like, to your point, that casino scene just felt really long and kind of really, while it did kind of hold some plot points or some plot devices, it didn't need to be that long for me. It really didn't. I don't know if the Rose character actually even resonated with you guys or not.
Not really.
No.
Sadly.
I thought she was kind of a cool character, and I think there's a lot she could have done. They could have done with, but overall, it was kind of like just Finn's travel buddy, and they didn't really do too much until the end, obviously, where she kisses him kind of out of the blue.
Maybe a love triangle,
like
erupting.
Yeah, like they didn't really hint that she liked him in that way, to me at least. Then she kissed him. I was like, okay, all right. I know he's a legend. Maybe she's like. Oh,
yeah, I would take it as like her really fangirling.
Yeah.
From the moment she met him, she was like, "Oh my God, you're the Finn," So I think it made sense for that to happen. But then, just from start to finish, I wasn't really emotionally invested in that.
Now, do you guys think that, slightly off topic? Do you guys think that we are gonna figure out Rey's parental heritage, even though she says like I'm nothing? Do you think there's something else behind that?
I think not.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't. Unless J.J. Abrams changes it for some reason in the next movie, I think it's done. As much fun as everyone had coming up with backstories for her parents, I think whatever they did, if they used previous characters, there would be some people would be cool, other people would complain about it. Like then they'd have to explain it. Well, how did they have her? So the safe, easiest way is just to be like, she's from nobody. Her parents weren't a part of this story. Plus, that proves that Jedis can come from someone besides Skywalkers.
Which is nice.
So and same with the kid at the end with the broom. Like, they're showing there's other people out there that are Jedis that can help with the rebellion or rebuild the Jedis or whatever. So there's not just her or Kylo and that's it. So
yeah, and Luke didn't come from anything either. So it's like it's just the same thing.
Yep. Another negative that you guys will probably disagree with me hearing about it. Not that Luke Skywalker died, but there was kind of like no explanation of how he just kind of just disappeared, and I wish there was something
there was
better.
a part in the beginning where Kylo and Rey first have the interaction where they're talking to each other, and Kylo says, I don't know how this is happening because you're not strong enough, you'd die if you did this. So I think Luke doing the projection pretty much
killed
offed him.
Okay, so
and then he kind of just let himself go into the Force, kind of like Obi-Wan does in New Hope, where he just lets himself go. I think he did what he needed to do. He's kind of going out, and he just let himself go into the Force.
And also, it was really nice to see Luke and his sister together.
little moment.
Oh my god.
That moment,
Yeah, let's go back to. Can we go back to positives?
Of course.
Yeah.
Carrie Fisher.
Oh yeah,
Oh
she
my
was really good.
God.
She was good, yeah.
Yeah, just I obviously with everything that happened, and knowing that she's no longer around, but just she was just great in that movie.
Yeah, she was. They really paid great homage to her. So
yeah, I know some people have an issue with Mary Poppins, Princess Leia flying back into the ship. It was kind of out there. I thought it was okay, but I could see how I watched it with my sister, and she was like, "How did she fly into the spaceship?" And I had to explain to her she uses the Force, so she probably pulled herself back in. But it's kind of an ask, it's kind of way out there. You haven't seen any other Jedis do that type of stuff, and she's not really a heavy Force user.
Yeah,
but she's holding her breath in space and flying back into the ship. So
whatever, it worked for us because we got to see
it was
more
cool.
of her.
I thought that was her end scene. I thought that was it for some reason. And then I was like, "Is that really it?" And then they show her hand. I'm like, "Okay, something's gonna happen. Either someone's gonna get her." But then I was like, "It was cool. It was emotional.
Agreed.
There's a lot of emotional parts in this movie for me as a nerd.
As a nerd. Okay, so did you guys think that the way Snoke died was kind of
I thought it was fitting.
I thought it worked.
I thought it was fitting. I just didn't think he would die that soon in the movie.
I know.
I thought he'd be in the last movie still. I thought he was the main bad guy. Or one of the main bad guys.
Now we got Kylo.
Yeah, but it was cool how he died. When I watched that the second time, I was paying attention to more what he was saying. I was talking about, the lightsaber, I can see you spinning it and stuff, and it's like, well, yeah, because he's spinning the one he has here and he's spinning the other one there.
Yeah.
So you can see it. So it's like, okay, so he's not even paying attention. He's he's overconfident, like Rey was saying when she went in there.
Yeah. And Kylo was showing that his strength in controlling his own weaknesses, right? So that scene was really powerful to show how much Kylo has grown. And I think for all the fans out there that were disappointed that you don't get Snoke backstory, I don't think it was even necessary.
Yeah.
Also,
it's not necessary.
Yeah. Also, when you watch the original trilogy, you don't know anything about the Emperor. You just know he's dark side. They don't tell you anything.
You don't need to know.
You don't know his real name. It's just the Emperor. I don't think they even call him Palpatine until the prequels. So it's basically the same thing. And I really thought Snoke was scary. Andy Serkis is awesome, and it's the CG they did for his face and all that stuff. It was really cool. I thought he was a really cool bad guy.
Absolutely.
And I want his yellow robe. So I can sit in my chair.
And gosh, as you bring up negatives, I'm thinking more positives.
Go for it.
Snoke's interaction with Hux
in
the beginning was great, and then just I want to highlight how good Hux is and that actor in that role, and how him and Kylo play off on each other is so good. Just that kind of frenemies. They would backstab each other in any second they could. But now the fact that Snoke is gone, Hux has to call Kylo Supreme Leader.
Which
and I know that kills him that he has to.
It does.
Plus he still gets bullied, which is hilarious.
Yes.
Because Snoke slams him, and now Kylo's choking him out, throwing him against the wall and all that stuff. It's really...
Yes, so overall it was a good episode 8, and it was, a good... it's a good show to get us ready for episode 9 as well.
2 years from now.
2 years from now. We got that and Game of Thrones to wait for.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Does Solo come out before episode 9?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll have one movie in between then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
So thanks, you guys, for stopping by. I'm sure you guys have plenty of things to say about The Last Jedi. Do you guys have any closing thoughts that you wanted to share?
That's something funny. I was talking to Annabelle yesterday. In the casino scene, I thought there should have been Trade Federation people with the weird accents, just for funny.
Yeah.
Funny. The Jedi, come on.
I think for me, I would just say, and go into the movie. I definitely deserves a second viewing. For those of you who weren't sure walking out of the first viewing, get rid of all those theories of Snoke and Rey's parents. All of that stuff. Just let it go. Go in there with a clear mind, because I think being clouded with all that stuff, right, and then thinking about your expectations for how you think the movie should go, kind of dampen the experience. So I would suggest seeing it again. And then really just, again, if you don't like it at that point, then great. That's your opinion. But I recommend seeing it multiple times. Yeah, I need to see it in its entirety. Although I feel like I didn't really miss much. I'm like, I get everything. So, thanks again for tuning in. And in the meantime, you guys can follow us and keep the conversation going. Ryan, where can people follow you?
I'm on Twitter, RYMyers25.
And I am on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Ann Campea.
And then we are at Team Amasian, and I am at KAORIOUS. That's a lot of vowels. So
Solve the puzzle.
Solve the puzzle. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. Don't forget to thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Tell a friend a day. And also, comment below. Let's keep this conversation going, and we will chat with you guys later about something else geeky. See ya.
Bye.